Yes, I'm back. I'm not just back, I'm feeling awesome. On this episode, I'll be talking about one of my favorite segments called the Football Influencer. And on this particular one, honestly, it's been a while. I've been wanting to do this one, and I'm wanted to make sure when I do this, I do the honors that like needed to give this guy his props. To me, he's probably the biggest influencer in actually in sports in general. But this is a topic on football. I feel he is the greatest influencer in football. I'm going to talk about why I feel so. But just to jump right into it, I'm talking nothing and no one other than the honorable David Beckham himself. Yeah, number seven. Iconic. What else about him? Hairstyles. What else about him? His passion, his dedication towards the work he does, the craft of things he does, his family, marrying Victoria Beckham, the way he takes care of his family, the way he puts time into his family. He revolves around his family. But I'm gonna jump into all that. Let me just kick back and relax a bit with you guys. So I will talk about this one because this is a good topic. David. So I actually got introduced to David. Well, I say introduced like I met him. No, I actually met him. I'm gonna get to that. But I found out about David through. I think I was in high school. I was in high school, and a friend of mine, she just came back from England then. I think it was right around the 1998, 99. Yeah, it was the World Cup. It was the World Cup. It was the 98, 99 season, ironically speaking. I was when United won the treble. And I was just getting into, like, my love for the game was just building up. England Argentina happened. I remember I was back in Nigeria when I was watching this, and he gets the red card by retaliating to a tackle. What was it, a tackle? Something Simone had done to David in the World Cup, and David literally, to me, honestly, I don't think it was deserved a red card, but he used the side of his legs to just tap Simone. I'll call it a tap. Tap Simone at the back, and Simone just took it to a whole nother level, and he got a red card. Now, the incidents that followed after that, honestly, I don't know how David survived to date, but his documentary Beckham on Netflix, if you guys haven't watched it, or if you've watched it, it tells a whole different side of the story of how people like him actually go through certain things that are not nice in life through situations that happen in football. But I'll go back to that too. But let me get back to the introduction. So yeah, I knew about him. I was like, who is this guy? And during that game, I'd seen his hairstyle. Number one caught me out because I'm big on trying to look good. I was like, he's got the long sleeve jersey. He's got the Adidas boots, looking all fly. Who is this guy, man? Started researching, but I guess the red card actually brought more light into trying to understand, who he is, just to see what he's all about. So I started doing my own research. I was like, wow, this guy plays for Manchester United, which then I was literally on the verge of. I want to say I was literally on the verge. Yeah, I was still looking for that club that I can say, okay, I'm gonna call my own. I love AC Milan too, which he played for it too. But yeah, he just went on this. I went on this research on him, and immediately I just wow, this guy is my guy. There's no how. Like he's the swag he brings, gone is too much. So started following, like reading, and then we didn't have It wasn't like social media where you had X and Instagram. It was literally books. I started buying. I'm telling friends in UK, sending me books on him, newspapers on David. Like I remember my wall, my wall back then in Nigeria in my room. Oh my gosh! I'll probably put a picture. You see pictures of United players, Beckham in the middle. I was literally forming my own team with those pictures. Great memories. But no, just to say, he's so I started reading my bio. There's this book. Yeah, then I'll post a picture of that too. But I got to start reading about okay, this is who he is as a man. Like what brought him into football? How did he fall in love with football? Why is this his profession? Then Victoria Beckham is his girlfriend. They're married. No, they're already married. So the glamour, glitz was all over him, and it was excuse me, it was different because I had not seen that in football before. This was new to me. I'm like, this guy is just getting all this glamour, fame, and is he actually good? Because it's one thing to be a footballer and one thing to be a celebrity with it, but he actually good. Man, when I started seeing his free kicks, his corner kicks, his assists, his passing, that's when I knew, okay, I finally found the guy I want to just follow as my mentor, literally. Yo, his free kicks, to me, I think he's the best free kick taker to date. Just the way he hits the ball and gets the ball to get into the net. So many clips of him. The top 5 goals of his goals in Premier League. If you see them on the highlights, it's just awesome. So yeah, that's how I got into the initiation of David. But I didn't know it was gonna get really bad. I mean, really, really bad. So this is what happened. Yeah, when I'm into something, I'm into something, and David was one of those guys that I was like, wow, this is my role model. To the point that I remember I started. What was it? No, I didn't dye my hair. I actually started making. I usually had natural waves, and I was like, look, I just wanted to have the same hairstyle David Beckham had. But luckily for me, this was right after. Obviously, I couldn't do the blonde. I mean, what was a African guy gonna do with blonde hairstyle? That's gonna look very funny. But he had cut his hair one time. I remember, and I was like, yo, I'm getting that haircut right now. I usually call my barber like, look, the same hairstyle with the V like that, give it to me. Yeah, he's influenced hairstyles, influenced me on just the styles. He used to wear the oh my god, I'm laughing now. The New York hats, the baseball hats. He wore so many baseball hats. A lot of tank tops during the summer. Like it was crazy, to the point that the boots, the Adidas boots, I think it was Precision then. I started wearing them as school shoes, yo. I was literally wearing Adidas shoes to class just to feel like I'm David, I got bottled for that. but yeah, that was how bad things got from. It was just, I remember one time somebody had messaged me or asked me, if you were to choose between your family and David Beckham, what would you pick? I literally said David, but then I was still young. I was in my own world. But fast forward though, so him as a person, how has he influenced football? I mean, as I've mentioned, his style, his work ethic. So he's a great footballer. He's not the greatest footballer. He's good. He's a great. So this is the thing. He focused on his skill sets. He knew that he was great in free kicks. He was great in crossing balls. He was great in passing. The guy just focused on those things. He didn't need to be the best dribbler or he knew that, okay, this is what I have talent in, and he focused on that. And I took lessons from that. Like, if you're good at something, stick to it, develop on it, practice. David practiced his free kicks, yo. I mean, the biggest free kick for me, for David, because personally, it's the one against Greece. I'll tell you why. This guy had been, I said after the World Cup, He went through serious death threats actually because of the red card he got for England. Yeah, it was this jersey actually he wore then. Then England needed to qualify for the World Cup. I think it's Korea, Japan. Yeah. So I remember I was literally in there. I carried my Bible praying for this guy. Like, God, please, England have to go. Ah, England no World Cup. What the heck is that? That's not World Cup to me, man. You know, football's coming on. So he, David was just an animal in that game. Like the way he was playing. I remember he had that haircut too, two lines, with a fresh silver Adidas boots. Ooh, all white kid. Man, but he was at it. He was going. He was running back, running forward, tackling. Man, I'm like, yo, this guy deserves. There was a picture I seen where he was just panting, just trying to catch his breath, but he was still going because it was the captain. Then he had the handbag. Then came the free kick. Oh my God! I think it was towards the last minutes of the game. I could hear the drums, boom, 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 boom. I could hear the commentary going on as well. I think Peter Barkley, if I'm correct. Let me not miss anybody's name. But David on the ball, steps out, takes the shot. Boy, the way I screamed to the point that I think my neighbors just like, my neighbors were like way across. They thought something bad had happened because I was so delighted for this guy. Like, wow, what a story. For you to go through all that trouble for your country, you playing for your country out of a nuisance of act that happened, having death threats, still decided to say, okay, I'm going to play for you, for this country, take on the pressure for the country and deliver to take them to the next World Cup. That World Cup qualification to me was one of the biggest highlights of his career. And that meant a lot to just not me, the fans globally. Wow, it was all over the news about that one. So it was a relief for him too. But what else? So let me just try to wrap this up. Moving forward, then David moved. He had different career moves, going to Real Madrid. Oh my gosh, I didn't like that. I'm not a Madrid fan. I'm sorry. I was like, what is this, yo? But he had to move. I think he needed that move just to, you know, they say when you're in an environment of elites, your environment matters. I think that developed him not just as a man too, but as a footballer too. It was good, but he was on the verge of being a greater footballer. He had some first challenging times when he joined Real Madrid, then eventually got his way up to where, you know, he had to just perform, and he did justice there, he did good things there. Then AC Milan came calling, happy for, I was excited about that move. I couldn't believe it. Then he went to, came to the US, LA Galaxy. I think it was actually, LA Galaxy after, it was LA Galaxy after Real Madrid. Then the opportunity for Milan came, I think. I hope I'm not mixing it up, but Ishad went to those places. Then he's now in this frenzy. Some people were like, oh, this all David wants to do is just sell shirts. Yeah, this is a businessman, and I'm gonna get to that now. He's brought not just the light on football, but he's had this ability to have this synergy, on blending both football and business. And I love that because you gotta think ahead. Sir Alex Ferguson saw David as a footballer. That's all he wanted him to do. But I think him marrying Victoria was the perfect marriage, in the sense that he made him more aware and conscious of he could be bigger than football. I remember Shady White, he's football, but to me, David is the epitome of, if you become a footballer, watch use him as an example, as a guideline of this is what I want to be. It depends on the personality. If you that kind of person that wants to be out there and think ahead, because now he's retired. Look at the things he's doing. He's got a football club in Miami. His endorsements are endless. Keeps doing one thing or the other. So it's just I love that about, and I picked that as a for me from a mentorship perspective. Um, he's done great. So from a business side, I did have the opportunity to meet David. When I say meet, I'm gonna say I met him. I've met him as a fan, but I didn't meet him man to man. You get me? So as a fan, the industry I work in, my 9 to 5, I had the opportunity to go for a conference where David was one of the guest speakers. I mean, there were a bunch of other top guest speakers there. You had President Obama, you had, that's another story, but that was crazy. So many top people. Anyway, so David was, to me, I couldn't believe it was, I didn't even know it was going to be there. I was shocked. Somebody at my place of work, then I messaged him like, David Beckham's going. I was like, what? Who's going to be there? I'm coming. So I came ready for the keynote. It was a keynote he had discussed, and he mentioned something about business, also giving it back to his father figure, Sir Alex Ferguson, who was the manager for Manchester United. Absolute legend of a man. So on that note, I'll share the video towards the end of this segment. But on that note, I love the fact that this is a boy or a man whose dream was just to play football, right? But look at where, as he's matured in life, see the things he's been able to accomplish. He's getting called to this kind of conference to speak to people that went to school for God knows what. And yeah, listening to a footballer. And that's why I say he's bigger than football. He's not just a footballer. He's Beckham. He's the brand. He's a brand. The brand Beckham was there talking to us live, giving us very intimate discussions about how we need to develop as people, family, la familia, work ethic, dedication, passion, just those core values, And when I got to, when it was done, and I got to just see him close by, I literally stood, like, when you're in awe of a person, you don't even know what to do. I remember I just literally stood there, just watching, like, wow, we're in the same room, we're breathing the same air, we're like in the same space. I couldn't believe it at first, but then what dawned on me was like, this guy is just a down-to-earth human being. I say that because when it was done, it took time to literally sign autographs, take pictures. Like he was running out of time, but the guy was just like, yo, I'm just gonna take my time with the fans, you share. And I was like, should I go up there and sit down with this, try and take a selfie? I'm like, nah, not yet. I'm gonna wait for a better opportunity to meet this guy. Hopefully one of these days, man. Hey, Bex, if you ever watch this video, hey, one-on-one, one day, man to man, talking. But yeah, that was awesome. That was an awesome experience. So I like to wrap this up saying he's bigger than football. He's a top influencer. I mean, look at what he's done so far in Miami. In America, he brought Lionel Messi, if not one of the best players of our generations to come, to Miami after winning the World Cup. Who does that, man? Who does that? I think that was, I don't know. It's just a great time to be in this industry of sports. But seeing what he's doing and what he's still accomplishing just makes me appreciate who he is as a man. I love the fact that he keeps his family first. If you see his Instagram, his social media page, he's all about family. I love the fact that he hasn't forgotten his roots, where he's coming from, where he's from, whether it's soccer, whether it's his loved ones, whether it's his friends. He's kept those are his core values, and I believe if there's anything you should take from this video is make sure when you look back at your life, try to see what core values make you and break you. For me, it's God first, family second, and just whatever you're passionate about, just work ethic. Don't give up in life. Challenges will come. But yeah, this has been a great time to just talk about my mentor, David Beckham. Let me know what you guys think about him or any mentors that are out there that have influenced you in sports or even outside sports. Until the next time, guys. Have a blessed one. Thank you. Cheers.
The manager used to turn around to us and say, "Okay, enjoy tonight, but tomorrow we think about next season." And that's what I take into business. We have so many great moments. I very rarely look back at what we've done. But I sat down the other day and I was like, we've done some really great stuff in the last year, and we've not really celebrated it. And I remember, I have a friend that works in my business who I've known since I was 14 years old, and he turned around and he said, "You know why that is? Because Sir Alex Ferguson, every time that we used to win a championship, when we used to win the treble, he would say, well, enjoy tonight, boys, but tomorrow and next season we're going to do it again."